only have one or two questions to ask, clarificatory questions, if the sponsor or the co-sponsors would care to respond, Mr. President.
Go ahead, please.
Are the names of the soldiers, the officers and soldiers who actually participated in the rescue operations included or cited in our proposed resolution? Because if not, I would propose an amendment to include their names in the concurrent resolution before we pass it, Mr. President.
I have a document which is in effect a communication, a list of AFP personnel, honorary recipient from the Indonesian government. 53 names, but in the House concurrent resolution, the 53 names are not included. So we can accommodate the your idea.
I would like to think that we should include their names in the resolution as proposed,
Yes.
Mr. President, because they are the men on the ground. They actually risk their lives. More than Secretary Lorenzana and the former Chief of Staff Subihana, they deserve to be cited in the proposed resolution. That's all, Mr. President.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. Mr. President, it's very easy to do that because the last sentence of the concurrent resolution we are considering says that and other AFP personnel to receive the awards to be conferred on them by the President of the Republic of Indonesia. Then by amendment, we list their names, Mr. President.
As long as their names are included in the resolution itself, I have no problem, Mr. President.
So we can go to the period of amendments to do that. Majority Leader.
Yes, Mr. President, I move that we go to the period of amendments and I so move, Mr. President.
Any objection? Chair hears none. Period of amendments open. The proposed amendment of Senator Lacson is to include all the names. Subject to
Yes, I
style.
have the names, Mr. President.
Subject to style. So
Everything subject to style, yes, sir.
it's recognized.
So at the last paragraph of House Concurrent Resolution number 23, which reads as follows: resolved by the House of Representatives, the Senate concurring, to grant consent to the Honorable Delphine N. Lorenzana, Secretary of the Department of National Defense, General Cirilito E. Sobihana, open close parenthesis, RET, period, or retired, former Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, AFP, and other AFP personnel. Namely, so I think this is now the amendment, Mr. President. So after that phrase, other AFP personnel, namely,
Subject to style. na lang, Mr.
yes.
Full names.
Can I get advice from the
Yes.
Majority Leader? Do I need to read all of these names or I just submit this list?
Maybe for the record, Mr. President, I can help the good gentleman from Cagayan de Oro, my kababayan. Subject to style because some of the names do not have the first names. So, Brigadier General Ponyo, Lieutenant Commander Fernandez, Major General Corleto S. Vinluan Jr., PA, Philippine Army, Lieutenant Colonel Yasser Bara, Philippine Army, Lieutenant Colonel Andrew B. Bacala, Philippine Army, Lieutenant Colonel Juni J. Businos, Philippine Army, Major General Erwin Bernard Neri, Commander Gilbert Villarreal, Philippine Navy, Major Arnel Marcos, Philippine Army, Lieutenant Commander Yuri Bo, Philippine Navy, Lieutenant Colonel J. Javines, Philippine Army, Captain Justin Whitaker, this is a U.S. Marine. It says U.S. Marine. Maybe we can forego that if he's a U.S. citizen. And fourth, there are two names here that I think are Americans. They're part of SOCPAC. So I don't think we should add
We
them
will
to the
remove them,
resolution.
Mr. President.
Yes. Colonel Arturo Rojas, Philippine Navy. Lieutenant Colonel Ashley Nastor, Philippine Navy. Captain John Rucacho, Philippine Navy. Captain Kawili M. Pait, Philippine Navy. Lieutenant Orlando Lictawa. Technical Sergeant Ronald de la Cruz. Technical Sergeant Eugene Padilla. Staff Sergeant Francis Angeles. Staff Sergeant Mark Anthony Pega. Staff Sergeant Jason G. Rapinan. Staff Sergeant Manuel Bendana. Staff Sergeant Staff Sergeant Nestle Alan Tangonan, Staff Sergeant Rendan Batilier, Sergeant Marvin Castillo, Sergeant Rosarito, Sergeant Noel Asurto, Sergeant Rahan Gadong, Sergeant Hener Pascual, Sergeant Michael Galduen, Corporal Raymond Duque, Corporal Mario Herlin Parahillo, Corporal Romnick Estacio, Corporal Maynard Yeso, Corporal Angelo Daroy, Corporal Eloy Testado, Private First Class Efren R. Paldo II, Master Sergeant Rogelio B. Marcelino, Master Sergeant Henry Barcebal, Technical Sergeant Michael B. Tamayo, Staff Sergeant Roderick Pervandos, Staff Sergeant Michelle Corimao, Staff Sergeant Loren Osman, Staff Sergeant Anselm Balbuena, Sergeant Edwin Sarabia, Corporal Brian Cruzado, and wounded and fallen soldiers killed in action, Sergeant Romnick Estacio, and wounded in action, Sergeant Michael Rosarito, and Sergeant Noel Asulto. So I so move, Mr. President. Subject to style, because we'd like to make sure they're complete names, and of course the ranks are correct.
All right. Any objection? The amendment is approved, subject to style.
With that, Mr.
So
President.
that would be all. Thank you, Majority Leader, for helping me out there. Thank you.
Thank you. With that, Mr. President, I move that we approve House Concurrent Resolution number 23 as amended.
Any